Have you ever gone through that moment when everything seemed absolutely normal until suddenly something completely out of the ordinary happens? Well, sometimes the unexpected simply does not warn you when it is going to arrive. Fortunately, nowadays, with so many cameras everywhere, many of these surprising moments end up being recorded, and that is exactly what we are going to watch here today. A scene, let us say, rather unusual, began to go viral on the internet and attract the attention of several netizens. In footage filmed by someone in a public place, we can see a woman between two men, holding hands with one of them, who simply fondles her in a very intimate way, besides kissing her. Meanwhile, the other man watches the whole situation, and as if that were not enough at the end, the woman turns around, walks away, and the two men leave together, side by side, as if they were a couple, something that really confuses anyone's mind. Many people began to say it was a throuple, which would even justify that situation, but which of course would still be very strange. The internal security camera of a vehicle caught the moment when a woman, having a jealousy crisis, crossed all limits. In the images, the man appears driving his vehicle normally, beside his girlfriend, who was in the passenger seat. He was holding his mobile phone in his hand, and all of a sudden, without any apparent reason, the woman freaks out, reaches for her boyfriend's phone and tries to pull it away at all costs. Frightened, he holds the device, preventing her from taking it, but because of that, he ends up losing control of the vehicle, crashing into the wall beside them and skidding with the car in the middle of the highway. According to some information, the vehicle was new, recently purchased, and ended up being completely damaged because of the woman's jealousy crisis, who did not know how to control herself even with the car in motion. A police officer, identified as Anthony Hare, was driving a patrol car and taking a woman in custody when she made him an indecent proposal, trying to seduce him, and supposedly, he would have given in to the situation, ending up locked in the back seat of the patrol car with her. An internal investigation into the incident discovered that Hare violated a series of policies and laws with his conduct. Hare's body camera was not turned on precisely at the moment he was inside the patrol car with the woman, but on the audio, one can hear the detainee saying things related to an intimate relationship between the two. After remaining for about an hour inside the patrol car, a police supervisor, who apparently was driving another vehicle, noticed the patrol car stop, approached it, and opened the door. Hare, who was there, told the supervisor about the situation, and he also decided to turn off his body camera, but everything had already been recorded. Everyone was investigated, and immediately, Hare was removed from duty and arrested so that his conduct could be examined. He even reenacted the scene, trying to justify himself, saying that he would only have been stuck in the patrol car, unable to open the door. According to some information, Hare was not kept in custody, but was dismissed from the police after they concluded that, indeed, he had been seduced. An unusual and yes, real video occurred in Bali, in Indonesia, quickly became an internet sensation. In the footage, a monkey appears grabbing a tourist's cell phone, and upon realizing the theft, in a curious way, she tries to negotiate, offering a fruit to the animal in exchange for the device's return. But at first he rejects it, only handing the cell phone back to its owner after she gives him a second fruit. The clip went viral on social media, rapidly reaching thousands of views. Studies indicate that this bargaining system of the monkeys at the location has existed for decades. They learn from one another which items have greater value, such as cell phones, since people will offer food to get them back, making them quite astute. A viral video filmed by a man inside a car shows a girl walking a tiger on a leash, as if it were a dog. This video was recorded in Guasave in the state of Sinaloa, Mexico, around October of 2020. At the time, the tiger appeared to be a cub, led by a simple rope, while the girl wore casual clothes, appearing to be an ordinary citizen. According to a Mexican newspaper that reported the incident, the man asked where her father was, and the girl answered that she had another tiger at home. The video drew attention because, although Mexican laws allow the possession of exotic species under specific conditions, walking a tiger on the street is prohibited. The animal must always be contained to ensure public safety. Specialists warn that frequent contact with humans makes large felines dangerous, and that anyone who decides to have this type of animal needs to have adequate facilities, in addition to knowing the species' diet and behavior in depth. A group of students was on a bus when they decided to provoke a homeless person and got in trouble. Upon noticing the presence of a homeless person passing by, they took advantage of being inside the vehicle to mock and provoke him. However, what they did not expect was that the bus would stop at a traffic light at that exact moment, and thus the homeless person, irritated, began to throw stones at the vehicle, frightening everyone on board. As can be seen in the images, he hurls a large stone toward the bus, which, due to the impact, shatters into several fragments, striking other people who were in the vehicle. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. A visibly uncontrollable man was caught by the internal camera of an elevator in a completely unusual moment. In the footage, right after the elevator door opens, he simply arrives kicking and vandalizing the place with punches, slaps, and kicks. It almost seems as if he were fighting the elevator itself, as if it were a person. The scene, so bizarre, becomes funny and went viral on the internet quickly. After the video's repercussions, some people suggested that the man could have been hallucinating, perhaps under the influence of drugs or alcohol, which really could be a possibility. An attack by a pit bull, which escaped and chased a group of young people in the interior of the state of São Paulo, Brazil, forcing them to climb onto the roof of a parked car to protect themselves, went viral on the internet recently. The episode happened in Jaboticabal in June of 2025 and was recorded by a security camera. The dog, apparently a pit bull, escaped from a residence and charged at a group of children and adolescents playing in the street. To escape the attack, 6 young people climbed onto the roof of a parked car, where their weight dented the vehicle. At one point, the dog even climbed onto the hood, trying to reach them. During the incident, a 15-year-old girl was bitten but suffered only minor injuries, being taken to the hospital and released the same day. The dog's owner was located and agreed to cover the costs of the damage to the vehicle and the victim's medical expenses. A girl was seen hugging and caressing a young man in a certain place, but the moment, which should have been peaceful and loving, turned into chaos with the arrival of the girl's father. The facility's security cameras first showed the girl with the young man, who hugged and even fondled her quite explicitly, practically in the middle of the street. Suddenly, at that very moment, the girl's father was passing by in a car and, upon spotting his daughter in that situation, immediately stopped the vehicle, furious, and removed her from there. The father got out of the car very angry at having found his daughter in that circumstance. He forced her to get into the car, approached the young man, exchanged some words, and even assaulted him before driving away. Many people shared their opinions, some defending the father, others criticizing him, considering the action somewhat excessive. In a traffic dispute, a man behaved in a completely aggressive manner and ended up getting in trouble because of it. In the video, filmed by another driver who was further behind, one can see a woman inside her vehicle, while another woman confronts her angrily. Immediately afterward, a man approaches and also acts extremely aggressively toward the woman, pressing the car door until it breaks. However, what he did not expect was that a police patrol car was right behind, catching the act of aggression and arresting him immediately. Upon seeing the police, he realizes at once that he is in trouble and therefore does not even try to resist, accepting the arrest calmly and being escorted into the patrol car. A woman was caught trying to steal products from the Walmart supermarket chain and ended up getting in trouble because of it. She entered the establishment and with sheer brazenness began removing various products from the store, placing them in a bag, which evidently began to draw the attention of customers and employees. The police were called, and upon arriving at the scene, the officers found the woman trying to leave with the stolen products through the front door. She was detained and arrested right there. At the moment of her arrest, she even tried to resist, attacked the officers, but ended up being subdued and taken into custody for attempted theft on the premises. A woman was approached at an airport after showing extreme aggression towards some of the facility's employees, and her behavior toward the police was no different. In the video filmed by the camera attached to the officer's uniform, one can see the moment they arrive at the place where the woman was, approach her, and try to talk. However, she does not take well the presence of the authorities, stands up, screams, and acts very aggressively toward the officers. At one point, she even turns around, crosses her arms, and asks to be handcuffed, but the officer does nothing, so she pushes him, forcing him thus to handcuff her and take her into custody.
I'm not arresting you now.
Hey,
Now you're
okay.
under arrest.
Let's do this. Okay.
You're under arrest for battery of police officer.
Okay.
Stop resisting.
I'm back at you. Okay.
It is not known exactly the reason for the woman's stress, but it would seem she was being prevented from doing something that was prohibited by the airline's rules and even aware that she could not insisted, culminating in the outcome we saw. A man who had been suspicious of his girlfriend's behavior managed, with the help of some friends, to catch her in the act, and the moment recorded on video reverberated widely on the internet. In the footage filmed by the boyfriend himself, one can see the moment he intercepts and locates the woman, who was inside a car in the company of her lover. He approaches the car and, very angry, begins to say various things to the woman, who cannot even justify herself. After all, she was inside another man's car. How could she defend herself in that situation? Truly, there was no possible explanation, and she had to listen to everything in silence.
With a wedding ring? Cheated on me 7 times? Here's 8. Let her shake and talk shit about you. And realize this, you are the biggest scumbag.
The boyfriend became extremely furious at the discovery because, until then, he had only been suspicious, not certain, but upon confirming the betrayal, he felt profoundly frustrated. A man was at a zoo when he decided to jump over the fence that gave access to the giraffe enclosure to do something unusual. Taking advantage of the fact that one of the giraffes was near the fence, he decided to climb the barrier and get on the animal. That is exactly what you read. He climbed on the giraffe and stayed there. A friend who was with him filmed the entire scene, and the recording, when shared on the internet, went viral quickly. The moment, extremely risky, caught everyone's attention. After all, he put himself in danger, since the wild animal could very well have thrown him to the ground or injured him in some way. According to information, the man violated one of the zoo's rules and put himself at risk. Therefore, he was removed from the enclosure and expelled from the zoo. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.